targeting people he knew. Again, we're looking at 43 victims here. I mean, are we talking about a magic bullet that hit 2 or 3 people at once? Maybe that would explain it. Or are we talking again about people that just sat there while he reloaded and was firing in a fish pond? Now, Obama's getting beaten up for starting his press conference yesterday. We tried to bring it to you, and then he started off with his economic agenda. You know why? Because he knew everyone was listening. You know, the people that wouldn't normally listen, the people who wouldn't normally tune in to one of his big press conferences, he just took advantage of the situation and starts off talking about how the economy is all peaches and bananas now. Unfortunately, we have numbers that would be contrary to that, but well, let's not even bother going there. No, because he knows that people are listening, they're tuning in, and Kay and Rick, they're also taking advantage of it. You know, Deborah Medina put out one little statement that this is pretty good evidence of why we should all have and keep and bear arms so we can protect ourselves. And the local Kay, Lyndon Baines Johnson AM, gasping almost at that thought. And they're supposed to be pro-Second Amendment, and I don't know why they don't get it. But, Obama, you can't really blame him because he's just reading the teleprompters, right? I mean, he should, by all accounts, he should come right out and go, wow, we got a big tragedy today. Our hearts and minds are with the people in Texas, and what a terrible, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. And we're doing everything we can, and just to anyone else in Texas or anyone else at any military base, we've got it all situated, and we think that everybody's going to be safe. No, he starts off with the whole economic agenda. And Kay gets on every major news station, national, international, and local that she can possibly get on to get quoted with her inside information. And she is the military attaché senator, not just here in Texas, for the entire country, which is why she needs to get gone. So Obama's just reading the teleprompters. He's got everyone's attention, and Axel Ron threw in the prop agenda. And he's getting beaten up for it, and I think he should be. One of the things that's really convenient here, when you have a mass shooting on a military installation, especially one like Fort Hood, is you have total control of the witnesses. They're all taking orders. Look, if this is what you're going to say. They do this to citizens. They force and pressure citizens. They sit them down, like in the JFK case, and grill them. Look, if this is what you saw. No, I didn't actually see that. I saw a sniper rifle pointing out of the gutter and some weird action over in the grassy knoll. And no, you didn't. This is what you saw. Okay. And if you didn't see that, you're going to be in big trouble. Do you understand me? It's called an offer you can't refuse, folks. It's used quite often. But you can control the eyewitness reports when they're all military people. And a lot of people maybe didn't even know what they saw. Being put in that moment, how many of you, are going to be able to accurately go back and remember everything? I think I could, but then again, you have to be in that situation to know it. I've been in extremely violent situations in the past and retain almost a photographic memory, even to this day, of things that happened, 20, 30 years ago to me. But again, if they're in the military, they're going to say what they're supposed to say. Here's the statement. Here's what you saw. Do you understand? Yes, sir. And that's that. So the guys at Walter Reed, he's allegedly, this is what all the repeaters are going for, he was a Muslim. You notice how when there's shootings by Christians, they never mention he was a Christian. Well, that explains it. Not that I'm sticking up for Christians, but he was an agnostic. That's the problem here. We got to watch out for all the agnostics in the world. Could be terrorism. Though again, they are potentially trying to demonize Christians. So I hear you. I hear you out there. I hear you breathing. I hear you pounding your radio. Don't do that. It's bad for your health. But they allegedly knew this whole time that this guy had problems. He was complaining about the war. I guess they found him on some websites, conveniently enough. This guy, much like Timothy McVeigh, much like Muhammad Atta and the other 18 berserkers with box cutters, were basically leaving a trail of crumbs leading right to the door and the excuse and the reasons why they did what they did so that it can all be put together in a nice little picture and sold to the American public and the public at large. And not one news agent questioning all of these initial reports. Nothing really on the two guys they took into custody, which I have a feeling had maybe something to do with it. In fact, there's a possibility here, not saying that I believe this, I'm just saying, I'm throwing it out there, there's a possibility here that the suspect, who is recovering now nicely, allegedly, didn't do any of the shooting. How about that one? You want to try on that shoe and then throw it back at me? Not saying that this is a conspiracy. I'm just saying there's way too many questions. It looks like there's a cover-up going on. Could be, they're covering up their incompetence, their negligence, right? That's normally what we hear. Hey, where's the video? Hello? Is there any... They don't have closed-circuit TV cameras watching everything inside the biggest military base in the world. No, that's a conspiracy theory. You're not. Oh, really? I mean, maybe the entire thing was caught on video, and it's in a vault somewhere with the plane crashing into the Pentagon and the John Doe number 2 and several Iraqis or Middle Eastern men running around the Oklahoma City bombing operation. Iraqi paperclip. I'm not saying that, Saddam Hussein did it. Certainly. That would have been convenient. That was all set up, man. That's the ace in the sleeve. Anytime they needed to pull it out. Oh, here is the video. Where's the video? I'm not even sure at this point that the Hassan character did the shooting. I don't know. I mean, we heard shots they have the guy in custody. The guy's dead. Well, that wasn't true. So I guess it also wasn't true that there was shooting going on along the way. The death count mounting and going up. Shootings in 2 different locations. Again, if you can believe anything the mainstream media is saying, and that's the problem. Another thing was he's a sharpshooter. Well, I mean, does that explain? Because, it's not as easy to pinpoint unless you're point blank. And if you're point blank shooting a handgun, then somebody can grab you and take a chance and dive at you and stop the madness. Does that explain how it didn't happen? Because he was across the room shooting these people and he had to be a sharpshooter? Because as we know, handguns are not that accurate. I know some of you are very good at shooting them, as am I, but it's not something where 1 shot, 1 kill, or in this case, maybe 1 shot, 3 kills. He was a sharpshooter. Yet, his cousin gets on the air on Fox News last night and says he didn't even like going to the shooting range. Didn't even like shooting. Had never been deployed and is in kind of the civilian white-collar section of the military, where I'm sure he had plenty of access to drugs, psychotic drugs otherwise, where I'm sure there could have been a little experimentation. The only way we can teach you how to effectively hypnotize people is that we hypnotize you. So you're going to lay down on the couch here, Hassan, and we'll show you how it works, and then you can do it to the people, and then maybe you can relieve them of their suffering. I guess that's a possibility. I mean, I'm going to have to throw out a lot of possibilities because the media isn't giving us any answers to any of these questions. They're just raising more questions. The guns came from off the base, of course, so, even though it's a military base and it's supposed to be one of the most secure installations ever anywhere in the world, maybe they should take our guns. A lot like Timothy McVeigh. Perry's come out and called for the death penalty, by the way. Another possibility is that all of this could be, and here I am talking about it for another hour, we got major news stories to report. It just could be a huge distraction for something else going on. As the news loads up on Fort Hood coverage, something else is planned or runs silently behind all the noise. Another aspect to all of this certainly is, he was anti-war. Anyone that's anti-war can go out and go shooting. Keeping in mind that most of the people out there that are anti-war, except for those of us anti-war right-wingers, man, that'll make the liberals' head turn around when you try to say that. Huh? I couldn't have heard you right. You can't be right-wing and not a Christian and not for the war. Those people don't exist. Yeah, that shows how much you know. But, it does show anyone that's anti-war can go nuts like this and start shooting everyone. That makes a lot of sense. I'm anti-war, and so I'm going to go shoot everyone. It makes about as much sense as we're going to evacuate you for your safety, and if you try to run, we'll shoot you. That's the forced mandatory evacuations here and in New Orleans now, thanks to the hurricanes. Where are the hurricanes this year? I guess playing on the football field. That's about it. The football field. That's about it. The football field.